Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Ahna and here we talk about all things related to stationery, planners, productivity, organization and in general trying to live your best life. And if that interests you, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and also press the bell icon to be notified every single time I post a new video. Today we're going to be talking about 3 books written by Austin Kleon. Steal Like an Artist, Show Your Work, and Keep Going. These 3 books are regarded as a creative trilogy of sorts in the way that it has been written, and they are filled with a lot of good insights and also instructions for anybody who's in the creative field or wishes to pursue, creative passions of any kind. And like the book says, anybody who creates any form of art is an artist. So with that, let's start with the first book review, which is Steal Like an Artist. So at first, when you hear a title like that, Steal Like an Artist, my initial reaction was, no, artists don't steal, what are you talking about? But then when I read the book, I understood the true essence of it. I mean, Pablo Picasso himself has said art is theft. And if Picasso is saying it, there's some truth in it, right? The author encourages readers to steal from all of your heroes, steal from everyone and anything and anybody around you and anything that inspires you. But here's the catch. Don't copy them. When you steal something, what he's basically saying is that think of how this person arrived at this, piece of work. Don't just steal their styles, don't just copy what they are doing, but think about the thought process behind it, the conceptualization of it. Once you can combine a lot of, different kinds of styles and different kinds of thoughts, then finally you're not imitating anybody. You are moving from, and this is a really nice phrase that they use, you're moving from imitation to emulation. And by doing this, you are basically landing up with this huge, mishmash of influences from all around. And finally, what you're creating is something which is absolutely your own, brand new and original. So it's not original in the sense that, no idea is original. Everything has existed in some form before. But once you get inspired by multiple people, you are also learning to think in so many different ways that you finally create something which is totally one of a kind. There is a really interesting flowchart in the book which basically says, if there is something that you want to learn about, is there a book on it? If yes, then read it. If no, then write it. And I really like this idea of the author basically telling us that, if you want something to exist in the world, you need to create it, which is such a unique, we're always looking to consume things. And once the perspective shift happens from consuming to creating, that really benefits us and everyone else also in the long run. And it's kind of why I create these videos, because it's something that I like to watch. Stationery and planners and journals and everything, that's totally my thing. Like, I constantly binge watch those kind of videos. So that's why I like to create those kind of videos. This also comes with like a Steal Like an Artist journal, which has little exercises on every page where you are actually encouraged to steal from some artist or the other, or just like, understand their ideas and try to make your own. So that is an interesting exercise for anybody who's willing. So what I really took away from this book is that this is a great starting point, and this is a really easy read. So this is some 140 pages, and the way that the book is laid out is very cool, and everything has a significance which the author explains. And his whole point of writing this book was that all advice is autobiographical. So all the advice that you tend to give to others is something that you would have liked to hear yourself as a child, or whenever you are in that stage of life. I also really like how all of the main points of the book are already given at the back. So it's like you already know what are the main things that they're going to be covering, and it's still worth investing that much to understand every concept in detail, because it's just written really beautifully and really interestingly. So this book was about just getting started and understanding how to put yourself in like that creative frame of mind, that mindset, and start creating things. The next book is Show Your Work, and as the title suggests, it is about putting your work out there. It is not enough to be good, you also need to be findable. So the author is like kind of telling all the readers to put their work out there, put that in the public domain, let others see it. Don't be scared of getting criticism, or also don't be too focused on the bad criticism that you're getting. So in case you're just starting out, it's okay. You might not have like a large body of work behind you and everything, which is fine. I mean, you're a beginner for a reason, right? So just start. It does not have to be amazing. It doesn't have to be great. So the author encourages all readers to be lifelong learners. And with that mindset, you understand that you are never fully done learning anything. So when you start creating something, you understand that it's not a one-day process. It's a continuous improvement. It's an incremental process, right? So if you start showing your work bit by bit and start allowing people into your creative process, seeing the behind the scenes, seeing every day how much you can do so that your final piece of work sort of comes together. It's that entire journey. Putting that also in the public domain is a very big step. I would say it's a very brave step. I haven't been able to do it yet. It just gives people more of a connection with you, and it also sort of holds you more accountable that okay, X number of people might want to see what I have done today to progress towards this project. And it is not just for the criticism or the feedback or just the praise or anything like that. It is mainly for you also and your audience to realize that no work of art is done in a day, and every creative process is a slow, long drawn out, painful process, and at the end of it, hopefully we have something that we can be proud of. I really like this idea mentioned in the book of a daily dispatch. So what the author is suggesting that you should have a daily dispatch, whether it's a tweet, it's an Instagram post, YouTube video, anything, even a blog post or like just a newsletter which only your mom reads, it doesn't matter. Just make that progress towards your goal every day and put it out there so that people are aware that you've made some progress. Also, the fact that you have to put out something will force you to make, even if it's like a little bit 1% progress. Maybe you just did one sketch, maybe you just wrote down 3 ideas, just a little bit something. Pick up small pieces of your whole process and try to shape them into like interesting pieces of shareable media. So one day if you're just drawing a sketch, make a reel of that. One day if you are kind of inking it, make a reel of that. And if you have like posted something, finally tweet about that, let people know, and just like have small parts of your process as some sort of shareable media so that you can put it out there. Let people follow along with your process, and that gets them more invested. That also keeps you more accountable. And I think that's a really nice way of sort of building a community around your creative work and also having the support when you need it. And finally, we have Keep Going. And the title of the book, I love it. It says 10 ways to stay creative in good times and bad, which tells you everything that you need to know, because you can't rely on your feelings to channel your creativity when you need it. You have to sometimes just get into the zone, just get into the routine and trust the routine and the process, and then continue doing what you're doing. So the first chapter of this book I absolutely love. It's called Groundhog Day, which, as we are aware, I'm sure, is that just repeat what you're doing every single day. There is a reason why routines work. There's a reason why morning routines, night routines, fitness routines, etc are like the most watched YouTube videos ever. It's because people love the fact that you can do the same thing every single day, and frankly that's the only way you see results. If you constantly keep switching up your routine, first of all, it's not a routine, and secondly, you do not get to see results. Consistency is what gets you results. I mean, you don't have to be amazing every day that you show up, but you do have to show up every single day to eventually be amazing. Another really important thing is to set up your space. Like, it's called a bliss station in this book, which I love that word. But when you see the videos of people making some artwork or some journaling videos and stuff, if you see that on YouTube, there's this whole vibe going on. There is like the string lights at the back, and there are candles lit, and there's like lo-fi music going on. There is a reason behind all of that. Of course, it looks great on video, but beyond that, you need that peace and quiet to be able to be mindful, to be able to focus on your work only, to be focused on your ideas. You can't have so much chaos and clutter all around you that will just cram up your headspace and not allow you to bring your best self to work. For any kind of creative process, for that kind of focus to come to you, you need to set up an environment. So maybe don't do it where you work or where you eat or where you sleep. Have like a separate small desk, or have like a couch where you are just going to sit down and just do this work. So designate a small area in your house, or maybe find your favorite cafe where you can just go there maybe once a week. Give that much time to you and your creative process, and just figure out what is your perfect bliss station. And my absolute favorite thing that I've read across all of these 3 books is this one, which says forget about the noun, focus on the verb. And I think this is a fantastic way of putting this. So what the author is telling you is that if you want to be an artist, draw, paint, learn how to use different kinds of media, learn how to use different kinds of tools. Don't focus on what would an artist do, but just create art. That's all that you have to do. If you want to be a writer, write. Don't worry so much about, oh, a writer would do this or a writer would do that. Only thing that matters that a writer would do is write. So just write. I love how it's focusing on the action, and that is the most important thing, right? If you want to be something, you have to do that thing. So that was it from my side. These were the reviews of the 3 books that I read, and frankly I had read them a long time back, and each of these books is laid out really interestingly. There are like newspaper cutouts, and somewhere there is like some sort of a flow chart, then there is like genetic patterns and stuff, and it's just really interestingly written. And these are the sort of books that you must have the hard copies of. I will put the links down below and you can buy them. And honestly, these are the perfect like coffee table books or something, where I'm sure you can pick it up, and each of them are like 200-ish pages at the most, and you can finish them really easily. They're a very quick read, but the ideas are truly timeless. I'm sure as a creative person, I'm going to keep going back to these books. Like, I have read Keep Going multiple times now to get out of those days of artist blocks and those creative ruts that we get into. And frankly, Show Your Work is what inspired me to do this in the first place, like start a YouTube channel and just put out there whatever I'm thinking about, things I like and stuff. Each of these books will help you throughout your creative journey, no matter what stage you're at. So I would recommend everybody read this book. And it's not just for people who are maybe making art, so to speak. It's also a really good series of books to just expand your thinking. And no matter what you're doing, you definitely have some idols that you're looking up to. You definitely are internalizing some of their thoughts, some of their theories. You're definitely trying to have ideas to progress in your career, whatever your chosen career is. So that way, I'm saying that even people who are not actively in like strictly creative pursuits, even for them, this is a really relevant read, and I strongly recommend that everybody buys these books. Especially pick up the hard copy. You are not going to regret. And if any of you have read it, please let me know that in the comments down below, and let's have a discussion on which book is your favorite. And yes, that's the video, guys. I will see you next week. Bye.